Hi, everyone. Good morning. Good afternoon. My name is Kate Santangelo. Welcome to the Mom with Mom's very first podcast, our very first episode. Very exciting. Listen in as we bring awareness to the best local resources for growing families in Monmouth County, chat with local moms, highlight our favorite local spots to bring the family, favorite restaurants, and so much more. Today, our first guest, I'm so excited to introduce you to Tara Sutton. She is a local mompreneur, owner of Everything Done to a T, and you live in Atlantic Highlands, right?
Yes.
Awesome. So thanks for being my first guest.
Thank you. This is my first podcast, so we're newbies together.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you said you've been to Bellworks a few times. We're
Yes.
here at Bellworks at our little podcast station
Yes.
in Homedale, New Jersey. We did not meet here. We met at Oak Hill Farms.
We did meet at, yes.
That's
we
right.
met there first, and then you had the event at Christmas time that I had a table at.
Okay.
And I think that's when we really connected a little more.
Yeah, and I'd actually love to go into the story a little bit because we had a chat at Oak Hill Farms.
Yes.
And when was that? I guess like a little over a year ago?
It had to be October of 2021 because I had just left my corporate job. And I was terrified.
Okay.
And you kind of gave me a little pep talk that you had just taken the
done
leap.
it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you said, you're going to be terrified, and that's okay. And I was like, can I hug this woman that I literally just met? Because I was terrified. It was a long time coming, but once you give notice, and that's it, and you can't go back. I mean, I probably could go back to my corporate job,
yeah.
but I needed that little, it's okay to be scared. You're going to be fine. It's going to be crazy for a while, but you'll get there. And I just really, really needed that.
Isn't it funny, too, how like the universe sometimes sends you, like not, that I was sent, but, like you can spend your entire night, you wake up 2 a.m. and every horrible thing that could possibly happen is running through your mind. And then like the next day, something happens and you're like, oh,
right.
Like I got this. So,
right.
Anyway.
It's funny that you say that because I was in my corporate job for about 8 years, and I loved it. I mean, I loved my boss. We had a great working relationship. We worked very well together. I was his assistant. He didn't treat me like a 50s secretary, like, go get my coffee.
Right.
He was a great guy. And everyone always said, well, when are you going to leave and do to a T full time? And I said, why would I do that? I make great money. I love my job. I get along with my boss. Why would I ever do that?
Right.
And then he left the company.
Oh.
And I felt like that was the universe nudging me because I would have never voluntarily left him.
Right.
Because it was a great job. I had benefits. I had income.
Yeah.
I mean, it was very safe.
Yes.
It was
I
the
know.
most safe little bubble that I went in, was happy, came home, done for the day.
Right.
And it was almost like the universe was like, you've worked hard enough. It's time. He's moved on. So should you. And that was like my nudge when he left to start planning our finances and my exit strategy.
Oh.
So I wholeheartedly believe that theory of the universe is going to point you in the right direction.
Yeah, and everything, works out and happens for a reason.
Yeah.
So let's backtrack a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So you tell us where you live, and you're a mom. Tell us
Yes.
how many kids you have, their ages.
Yes. So I live in Atlantic Highlands. I grew up in Manchester. Went to Montclair State University, met my husband there, college sweethearts. We got married in 2009.
Okay.
And he grew up in Highlands, and we bought a house in Atlantic Highlands.
Love Atlantic
about
Highlands.
2 weeks before our wedding.
Oh.
And I insisted on having our wedding pictures in the house. So we have all these pictures in one room that was painted, and the rest of the house has boxes and everything. But we got married in 2009, and we have 2 boys. Connor is 11, and Brody just turned 9 last week.
Oh, I love that area.
So,
When
yeah.
I met my now husband, I was a single mom. My son was 9, and I wanted no part of getting remarried. And I thought it was just going to be me and him forever. And I said, no, my plan was we're moving to Atlantic Highlands, and I love the downtown there. And then we got married, and obviously that we had different plans, but I do love it there. And it's just such a great little town to raise a family.
Yeah, it's the epitome of small town USA.
Yes.
We can walk to the movie theater, we can walk to the bagel shop, they walk to school. It's beautiful.
It is. Do you, I guess Nicholas Creamery is there now.
Yes.
And then the movie theater reopened, right? Reopened?
Yes, it reopened, and now Kevin Smith is turning it into Smod
that's
Castle
right.
Cinemas.
Oh my gosh.
So it is. So it's right now being operated by friends of ours, and now Kevin Smith is taking over, revamping it a little bit, but it's up and running, and it's beautiful, like a nice little center point of the town.
I love that. We were going during COVID when they were calling him the Pizza Pope. I forget even the name of the place.
Yes.
And we would order, and it was like the whole thing. My husband
Yes.
loved it so much that we actually had dinner in Atlantic Highlands, and then he got pizza to go to bring it home. So
When that
good.
pizza place opened the garage doors, all of First Ave would smell like garlic.
Oh my
it was amazing, which didn't bother me at all. It was wonderful.
Oh,
yeah.
I love it. And the wine bar is there, which is great.
The wine bar is there. The Atlantic House is there.
Yes.
We go to On the Deck. We can walk to and walk home from. So it's great.
When my son was little, it's not open anymore, but there was this place called Julia's where I used to bartend, and then we would go to On the Deck afterwards, which feels like a lifetime ago. So those were the days.
Yes.
So tell me, what are your favorite things to do, like outside of Atlantic Highlands with the kids?
So if it's nice out, my husband loves taking them fishing. So there's a lot of little fishing spots in Navesink and Fairhaven that they sneak off to when I'm busy doing work.
Right.
If it's not nice out, we're at Yestercades.
Oh,
They are
love
obsessed
it.
with Yestercades.
They're at that age too.
They are
Yep.
at that perfect.
Yep.
Give me all the video games. And then my husband.
Yeah, I was
who's
going to even say, like, there's such really an
40.
age.
He's like, let me show you guys how to play this. Like, he takes over the video games because there's some, vintage or, older games that he likes to play. So that's a hot spot for us. Either doing outside stuff. We live right by the Henry Hudson Trail as well.
Okay.
So the trail literally cuts off from the highway back to go through Highlands at our street.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
I wish I had that. Our street is very, there's like a big incline. So my daughter is going to be 8 and still has not learned how to ride her bike because like we have to bring her to the park and then it's like, I'm tired, I want to go on the playground. And it was the same thing with my son. But like there are kids that learn to ride their bike when they're 5. My kids just never had that. But I think a lot of it is because like our street, like they fly down the street a lot of the time. It's not like a main street, but it is like kind of become a cut through, I think, because of like ways and stuff. So, so that's nice that you've had that trail to be able to like go for walks.
It's nice for when they learned how to ride their bike. We had to pay someone to learn to ride the bike.
Did you?
Yes, she's the best. I'll give you her number.
Like this is
because
where we've come.
It was, and
I would do it too.
My husband was like, absolutely not. And I'm like, you guys butt heads too much.
Yeah.
And this woman it seems lovely. And 1 hour.
Yeah.
Off he went.
Oh my
It was a
gosh.
miracle.
I
Worth
know,
every
my son
penny.
was 9. He's 18 now.
Yeah.
But he was 9, and I took him to the Brookdale parking lot, and there was tears. There was
Right,
so
exactly.
much going on. He fought me, and then and then finally he kind of almost taught himself because he got to the age where it's like, this is ridiculous,
Right.
Yeah.
But now that we both all know how to ride our bikes, we can just hop on the trail, and my in-laws live in Highlands, so we can take the trail through the back, stop there, get some water, have a snack, and then ride our bikes all the way back. So it's nice.
How many miles is that trail? It's like 20?
From start to finish, I think it's like 18 or 20.
Yeah.
We don't do the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
I know people that run it. I don't even think I've ever been on it, to be honest. Maybe in like the Keyport area I have. But yeah, that's one of the bucket list items I should add.
Yeah, it's really nice.
So
It's really nice.
That's great. So tell me about your business. Everything Done to a T. Tell me
Yes.
how you got started, what your background was.
So I went to school for business management. What I thought I was going to do with that, I'm not sure.
Okay.
It was kind of just, I wanted to be a teacher, but had zero patience. And it just wouldn't have worked out well for my personality with little kids. So I went to school for business management, graduated. We got married in 2009.
Okay.
That was before Pinterest. And I only know that because I still remember bringing a binder of ripped out pages from bride magazines to the bridal shop. So it was it doesn't seem like that long ago.
It wasn't, but
yeah. It was there was no Pinterest boards and things like that. So I wanted all of my friends were getting married at the same time.
Okay.
And I wanted my wedding to kind of stand out a little bit. So I was screwing together picture frames of our engagement pictures with a satin topper to make the card box. And I thought, Martha is going to call me any day. I mean, I thought, look at me go. Like, I thought I was, I printed all my invitations at home.
Oh, wow.
I, made my own monogram. I thought, wow, what, guys, watch out. Looking back now, oh my, how far you've come and where you
Yes.
started. But at the time, it was very exciting.
Right,
It was
right.
very thrilling. So then when the wedding was over, other people started saying, can you help me do this? Can you help me do that? Like little things here and there, doing little invitation projects, things like that. Then everyone kind of evolves to the having babies. So then it became favor bags and banners. And it just kind of slowly evolved of people wanting someone creative to help them do things.
Right.
So in March of 2014, I thought, I'm going to start an Etsy. Let's just see what happens.
Right.
I opened my Etsy shop with Lego bags.
Oh.
The Lego movie was popular.
Okay.
And everyone was having a Lego party. And it was literally a paper favor bag with raised circles to make the bag look like a Lego.
Uh-huh.
They got taken down because it was copyright infringement.
Oh, how funny.
But
all the things you don't know.
All the things you have no idea. And I thought, I'm helping you have this theme as your part, like for a party. I didn't think, I'm not saying it's a Lego brick. I thought it was helping. They did not see it that way. But so that's when I started my Etsy shop. So then I put in some wedding items, and they completely took off.
Oh.
This was in the time of having your name on the hanger, and all the bridesmaids hang.
Oh, that's
hangers.
not a thing anymore?
It's not.
It's
really not.
Okay.
But there was a solid 2 or 3 years that I was a hanger factory.
Oh.
That was my best-selling item by far. I had a girl working for me day and night, and it was the it thing.
And you were working full time.
And I was working full time. This whole time I'm working full time.
With younger children.
Yes.
Or having babies,
So
right?
Brody was born in September of 2013. I opened my shop March of 2014.
Wow.
So he was baby.
Okay.
I don't know what I was thinking.
Right.
It was that creative need that was just kind of like brewing. And, my corporate job was being someone's assistant. So that was his work. None of the projects were like my work. So the Etsy shop became my creative outlet, my work, my ownership.
Were you like this as a kid? Like, did you like making things?
Yes.
Were you in art classes?
I had the puff paint shirts.
Okay.
I had, my grandmother would take me to the craft store with her because she was a sewer. So she would get fabric and I would get all this tchotchke stuff and melt the plastic to make these gaudy earrings and
like the not kids art, or what was it? The can't think of it. That brand that was like big when we were kids, like the big bright colors.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It'll come to me.
Yeah. I was like that as a kid. So
Okay.
I can't draw a picture to save my life, but I want to be making something creative.
Okay.
I had the bizarre art projects. I had all that as a kid. So the Etsy shop was going good. Everything was going great. That hanger trend started to taper off, and I would kind of venture into other categories, but I needed to change. I needed to have things. Now, the rule with a small business is have your niche.
Okay.
Have your niche. Stay in your lane. Make one thing. I cannot do that.
Right.
I've had coaches tell me. I've gone to master classes. I've gone to sessions, everything. Find your niche. I can't do it. I want to make everything.
Okay.
I want to make shirts. I want to make tumbler cups. I want to make ornaments. I want to make wedding stuff. I want to do all the things. So I started branching out with other equipment, other machines, and then COVID hit.
Okay.
And there were no more events, and there were no more weddings, and there were no more birthday parties.
Right.
So that kind of also forced my hand to let's try and make other things.
Right.
So that's when things took a turn to just being, I would say, more of a gift shop.
Gifting, yeah.
Yeah. So my tagline that I tried to use is personalized and unique giftable goods.
Okay.
So it can be a gift for yourself. It can be a gift for someone else. I still have a wedding category. I still have a party category, but I like being all over the place. I like being a little taste of chaos in my office, but I can't just pick one thing.
Right.
So.
And so it's always had the name Everything Done to a T.
Yep, that's always been my name.
Yeah, so that kind of really encompasses what you're saying, right? Like everything done to a
Right.
T. It's not just specific. You don't have a niche, but you also, once people get to know you, you wouldn't be pigeonholed to one thing, right? And especially with weddings, you only get married once or twice or maybe 3 times. But people will use you for their growing families as as time progresses. And one thing that never really ever goes out of style is personalization ever. Like that what's personalized does. But that's that's nice that you'll be able to always kind of offer that.
The funny thing is people will come to me and say, I know you don't sell this, but I need something for this type of person or this type of situation. And some of those things turn out to be some of my best sellers.
Interesting.
That they just come to me because they think, well, Tara will figure it out. So I do enjoy having that broad spectrum of capabilities that I can make whatever you might need me to.
Right. That's so nice. I love it. So you're working during COVID, what year you quit? You said you quit your full-time job in 2021.
Yes.
And you've been doing it full-time since.
Yes.
And it's exploded probably,
Yes,
right?
I have never looked back for 2 seconds. Even I had worked years to get to this point, and that phone call that I'm resigning, I thought, what am I doing?
Right.
Like, well, I mean, I'm literally trading salary for glitter. Like,
Okay.
yeah, like
It's hard though,
it's
especially the benefits. You know,
Right.
if you don't have like a partner who has either good benefits or doesn't,
Right.
there's a lot of logistics that go into
Right.
like, really making that decision.
Yeah.
I toyed with it for 2 years. Some of my colleagues that I work now throughout the local moms network, they know like that I talked about it for a long
Yes.
time. And even my husband used to say to me, like, you can keep talking about this for a while. If you keep doing it, it's all it's going to be is talk, right?
Right.
You really have to,
Right.
you have to make the decision and then just make it work, right?
And
So-
I had an established business. You figure I had opened my Etsy shop in March of 2014. So we're talking years of it showing that I know what I'm doing.
Right.
And it was still a solid 7 or 8 months of my husband and I planning out, switching the benefits to his name,
Yeah.
making sure we had, savings, and we have 2 kids that are approaching college, and so we made sure everything was in a row, and it was still scary.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was the best decision. I couldn't have continued anymore because, we think about work-life balance. There was none. There was none because I was working full-time during the day, doing the dinner and the bedtime and the homework, and then working literally all night.
Okay.
And then doing it all over again. So I couldn't grow. I couldn't give my attention to other ventures. I couldn't do podcasts. I
Right.
couldn't do I couldn't do anything because
Yeah.
it was like I was just keeping my head above water.
Right.
So, something had to give, and it was an easy decision.
Yeah. And then as you progress, right, you make that leap and then you take on other things and it's like, and now you need now you need to hire this person or,
Right.
it's all like different stepping stones. But if you do look back, just in the year, like years go by so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But what I found is that you also, like if you have goals and you're really going after them, like there's so much that can also happen in a
Right.
year too, which is really cool.
Right. Just the time to do tabletop shows or meet with people or have a quick turnaround for someone that's in a pinch. That makes me happy. I'm
Yeah.
happy that I can help that person, that says, oh my God, I forgot that it was so-and-so's birthday and I really need something. And before it was like, I have a 4-week lead time, so, call me later. Now
Right.
I can say, okay, I can stop, do what I need to do, help that person out. Then I'm a reliable source for them next time.
Right.
They'll keep me in mind next time because I helped them in a pinch.
Yeah.
So the list goes on and on of things that I couldn't do before that I can do now.
So I'd imagine that, many customers you have nationwide.
Mm-hmm.
But how has, you mentioned, doing table shows and stuff, how has Monmouth County been like instrumental into growing your business? We love to follow you on Instagram. I get a kick out of everything that you talk about with, just work, mom life, and
Yes.
just all the intricacies of running a business every day. Because, part of the reason that I started this podcast is because we were just talking about it, before we went live, is that I have these conversations with moms, weekly, right, with the Monmouth moms, right, and a lot of them want to advertise on the platform, or we're just discussing different things. Maybe they're coming to an event, and we have these incredible conversations, and it's just so interesting to me to like really understand how. If you have a dream, or maybe you didn't have even a dream when you were growing up. Maybe you just, when I was in college, when I turned 18, I went to East Stroudsburg in Pennsylvania. My goal was to be a restaurant manager. I thought that was my dream. I still love food and wine. It's like my favorite thing to talk about. I'll talk about restaurants all day long. But, that's obviously not where I ended up. And if you had asked me back then, like if I wanted to be, a business owner, entrepreneur, doing stuff like this, you would see maybe how I would have found my way there, but that wasn't my goal.
Right.
But it really is interesting to like, understand how like as moms, like we have, such a big job just raising our children, right?
Yes.
Not just, but raising our
Right.
children. And, then throwing in this incredible, opportunity that we're given to, to go after our dreams while we're, simultaneously, raising and growing a family. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
And I always find it so interesting just to like understand the day to day, right? Like what, how do you manage your day? Like, do you make dinner every day? Do you,
Yeah.
like, do you grab and go? Like, how do, so.
It's funny that you say that because I just filmed a bunch of footage to do a reel of a day in the life.
Okay.
And the chaos that goes from get them to school, spray paint a cup, put dinner in the crock pot, go pick them up, fill orders or answer messages, bring them to baseball, come back. I mean, I couldn't even put the reel together because I was just all day long taking little clips that I'm going to splice together. And the chaos of it going back and forth was hilarious to me. So
I find that I'm always racing the clock, like always.
Yes.
It's my headphones are falling off me here. I feel like I'm always, is my hair now like, well, I feel like, and even with my daughter this summer, she didn't go. She went to like some camps, but very just like filler camps. We didn't do like every year. I say, next year you're doing 9 to 5 camp.
Yes.
It never happens.
Yeah.
But somehow like she was home all summer. I figured it out, and then like you're like, oh, okay, back to school time. We're gonna have all this time.
Right.
And I don't know how.
I'm
like the day, it's like 3:00.
Yes, I'm perpetually counting backwards. Pickup is at 3. That means I have an hour to do this. It means I have to eat my lunch at this time. I got to do, I'm always counting the day backwards instead of forwards because there's somewhere I have to be or someone that has to go somewhere.
Yeah.
But I enjoy doing that. I could never do that before.
Right.
I had a great job, but it was still in Edison. And so it was still, he was wonderful, if they were sick, if there was a school play, he was extremely flexible.
Yes.
But it was still a job that I had to be at in a desk all the time. So school pickup, homework, they were littler, but I wasn't a part of any of that.
I know.
And so that was another big part of the decision of when you get that taste of being home from COVID, while it was absolutely chaos and difficult being the teacher as well. That is not, I'm not saying that was enjoyable, but you get that taste of being home with them all the time, being extremely involved, doing school pickup or what have you. And that played a big part. And I don't want to go back to that.
No.
I do not want to live that way anymore.
Yeah.
So, again, it was the universe kind of like, here's a little taste of what it would be like if you could be home all the time.
Yeah, I know.
And, Q4, I'm working at night a lot, again, because it's just chaos. But that's because I've made the decision that I want to be present at school pickup. I want to take them to baseball. I want to do those things. And I'm fine with going back to my work at night if I need to have a successful business because I enjoy being mom from 3 to 9.
Yeah.
So
I completely relate to that. I spent, I was a young single mom. I had my son when I was about to turn 20, and many years of, him being in daycare and, even when my daughter was little, like up until, COVID really kind of shifted that, but, just racing to, get them from daycare at 6:30, dinner, this, that. And, there's no easy way. And I think, I'd be curious to hear how you feel about like just the mom guilt itself of how, like now, like I was so grateful to have, made the leap to be doing moms full time. And obviously I'm so blessed with all the opportunities that have come my way, and I love it. I'm so excited. 90% of the time I don't even feel like I'm working. I'm just like, it's fun, but it is a lot of work, right? It's behind the scenes. It's a lot. I work almost every evening, into 10 o'clock. Weekends are, mostly half work and half family stuff, and last year I made the decision, like, my daughter gets out of school at 2 o'clock. And every time she was coming home, and I'm like, oh, this is great. I can pick her up from school. Finally, I'm like the mom that's like home.
Right,
Well, this is great. And then, but I'm working still, right? And just because I'm working, so she's mom, and the dog. We have 2 dogs, and mom, and she has siblings, but they're older, so. She said, Mom, can I do this? And I'm like, I'm on call, be quiet, yelling this. So I signed her up for like the aftercare till 4. So now she plays with her friends, runs around, does her homework, and I pick her up and I'm like a little bit more like on top of things. Yeah. So it's a little bit better. But like you still, like, I still always feel guilty.
Absolutely.
Like always.
Absolutely.
All the time.
I thought, now I'm home, I'm going to have these perfectly orchestrated dinners on the table every day. Absolutely not.
Right.
I'm going to be, mom, school class mom. Absolutely not.
Right.
I mean, I'm still running a business, so I try to do as much as I can, but I still feel guilty at 3 o'clock when it's like, okay, you guys do homework, and I'm going to be in my office.
Right.
I envisioned me being there doing the homework with them, or there's certain days where there's deadlines and whatnot. I still have that mom guilt even though I'm home.
I know.
I think back to how was I gone all day?
I
if
know.
I feel like this home? Like
I know.
how
And somehow
what
like
was
it
that
all,
like?
I know. You think about that and like getting up at, 5 in the morning and all the stuff. You do actually end up having to do that regardless once they're in high school. But yeah, like just the rat race,
Yeah.
so they say. So
Yeah.
it's a lot.
It is. And, people don't understand the back end, like you said, of, I can make things,
Right.
but to list them on Etsy and make a reel and post them on social media or send them to the photographer that I use. And there's so much back end stuff that has to be done.
Right.
It's not just all painting all day.
Right.
So
yeah,
it's
invoicing, just all
right.
of the things. Are there any plans to, you like Etsy? Do you want to, launch your own site? What are your plans?
So the new site is coming in a few weeks.
Oh.
Yes, it's being designed right now.
Okay.
I finally learned to outsource what you're not good at instead of spending hours trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
So I outsourced that to someone, and she's doing a fantastic job. That will be coming hopefully in the next few weeks.
Okay.
And then I will still have the Etsy shop in conjunction, but I really want to kind of stand on my own 2 feet.
Right.
And there's a lot of rules on Etsy and a lot of things that could be a whole nother episode. But there's a lot on there that
I'd love to learn more about that world.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Is my polite on-air word.
Okay.
So I am looking forward to hopefully getting this website up and running. And
it's just very restricting, right?
it's very restricting. It's
Yeah.
it's very buyer friendly.
Okay.
So the buyer can buy something and leave a review that has nothing to do with the actual product.
Uh-huh.
And no one on Etsy will stand up for you.
Oh.
Even though they're taking a cut of what you make, they don't necessarily. It's a robot that says if you didn't curse and if you sent it out and if there's very vague guidelines, and if you hit those markers, they can leave any kind of review they want.
Wow.
So the list that's just one thing that kind of, after a while, I could have literally 3,000 5-star reviews, and I get one that says, I gave this as a gift and the person absolutely loved it, but I think it's going to XYZ.
Okay.
You weren't the recipient, you haven't used it, you don't know. Or someone will say 1 star, I haven't received it yet.
Oh.
And it's, well, I shipped it,
Oh,
and it's
people.
so so there's just and it's allowed. No one on Etsy, it's like a robot that it's like if they didn't curse or say something completely, horrific, they can write whatever they want, and it's like, but what about me?
Oh,
Why aren't you
I
backing
know.
me, the person that is providing the item that is allowing your platform to operate?
Right.
Who's on my side?
Right.
That's just how I feel. So
Yeah.
I love them. They've gotten me to this point. I've been on Etsy for years.
Uh-huh.
Very successful, top 0.1% seller.
Wow.
I'm doing great. I'm
Okay.
doing just fine. But it's like the little things that just
Yes.
get under my skin.
Right.
So
Well, I think everyone expects like some type of like person that says something silly in a review.
Right.
I was actually researching a top that I bought the other day, and it I washed it and it got like a little pilled, like that pilling.
Yeah.
And it was not cheap. And I was looking at the reviews to see if maybe like this is normal. Like, should I just get one of those things? Should I return? I don't know. I don't really I like that you can buy clothes online and not have to, because I just don't have time to go
Right.
anywhere. People ask me all the time oh, you must be going to all these fun places for Mom with Moms. I'm like, or they'll be like, what are you doing this week? And I'm like, I don't know what's going. I'll look at my own roundup because I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Because I just don't have time. I'm always
Right.
doing the next thing. So, you don't have time to go clothes shopping. So it's nice that you can just bring it
Right.
to your door. You can return it at your door. It's
Yep.
awesome, right? But I was looking at the reviews and they were all 5-star, and there was hundreds for this one top. And I thought that to be fascinating, but also a little skeptical.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I mean? So it's if you
right.
get a couple.
If it's all perfect, you can't
It's
believe it.
a little
but
weird,
Yeah. And my
So-
husband always says the average person can read through what that says
Yes.
and make their own opinion of that person
Exactly.
is crazy.
Right.
But I'm still happy to be launching my new website.
Yeah.
I will have both because I get a tremendous of traffic from Etsy.
Okay.
So I'm not going to shut that off
Yeah.
by any means.
Right.
But I am going to try to guide everybody to, all my coupon codes will be for my website, all my sales will be to my website, kind of push people in that direction.
Okay.
So I'm very excited about that.
And will you be doing any pop-up shows or anything this fall? I'm sure you're really busy.
I haven't planned out my fall. The tricky part with shows is a lot of my items are personalized.
Okay.
So I have a hard time making generic gifts that are grab and go.
Right. Yeah,
So-
when you were at mine, I think you were just taking orders,
I was just
right?
taking orders.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to try and have a more of a mixture of grab and go and orders that people can have things personalized.
Okay.
But my specialty is to have it custom, and some people want it right then and there, or then there's a delivery issue, or they say, can I come pick it up, and I work out of my home.
Okay.
And sometimes that gets uncomfortable, so I would much rather have grab and go stuff,
Right.
if possible. But yeah,
We'll see, right?
we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's exciting.
Yeah.
All fun stuff. And what are the boys up to this fall? Or what are your favorite things to do with
We
them?
are heavy into travel baseball,
Okay.
so they both play for the Middletown Eagles.
Uh-huh.
They love it.
Okay.
They absolutely love it. So if we are not at a park somewhere in Monmouth County at a game, we are likely at practice or practicing somewhere or at the batting cages. They love it. It consumes a lot of our fall.
Wow.
Truth be told.
Okay.
So, but it's a great sport. They really enjoy it, and
I can mildly relate. My stepdaughter just started playing for the Intensity in Farmingdale,
Yeah.
but she actually lives in Maryland, so she's been coming up every weekend and, getting ready for travel and stuff like that. So this is a little bit newer to us. My
Yeah.
son was not into sports; he was more into drama, but really exciting. But yeah, a lot of
it's
a lot of time.
Yes, and once the fall season ends, about November, then winter workouts start the end of January.
Right.
So it's a very small
little
window that I can clean out
vacation.
that bag. But
Oh my
they
gosh.
love doing it, and like I said, now I can drive. It's not who's going to pick them up. Texting people on the team, can someone come get Connor?
Right.
I can help carpool, and we're at all the games, and it's a lot of fun.
That is nice.
Yeah.
That's great. My favorite question that I love to ask everyone, I think everyone thinks I'm like just obsessed with like food and restaurants, but what are your favorite places to go eat in Monmouth County?
So, if you were to ask my kids,
Uh-huh.
their favorite place is McClune's Pier House in Long Branch.
Oh, beautiful.
For brunch.
Okay.
Because they can get like a crazy plate.
Yeah.
Like it's like
Buffets and kids,
right.
like they just
It's
love
like,
it.
Right.
I know.
And I love brunch anyway.
Yeah.
So I am happy to, as long as you're going to eat it,
Right.
you can put whatever you want on that plate. And they get so excited and so empowered to have like an omelet and a crab cake on the same plate. And I'm like, have at it. Just have a great time. And everybody's happy. So we frequent that a lot.
Okay.
Just for everyone's
And it's so
peace.
pretty there too.
Right.
Yeah. Love Pier Village.
Yeah. I like Tommy's in Seabright.
So good.
It's just so good, very easy. We're right over the bridge.
Yep.
It's nice family. It's okay if the kids are a little loud, 'cause
Yeah.
it's a little loud in there
You
anyway.
got to go like a little earlier. I'm not a big waiter. I can't stand the wait.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll go if it's like 5:00.
Right.
I'm like an old person. I'm a very old person. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not waiting past 5:30. 30 minutes is
Yeah.
tops.
Yeah.
And date night spot. You guys like Tommy's for that?
We like Tommy's. We go to Biravino.
Oh,
That's a nice
so good.
date night
It's
spot
so good.
for us. We go to Undici,
Oh,
of course.
I love Undici.
And yeah, we usually keep it local. We keep it easy.
Yeah.
Atlantic
And you
houses
live-
we can walk to.
Oh, that's so perfect.
So
oh, jealous.
that's literally the street that I live on. So
Okay.
we keep it easy.
I love that. I could probably walk. I live in Aberdeen, so I could technically walk to like the brewery over there, alternate ending, but I don't. Like, it's easier to drive. Like, I
Yeah.
could walk there in probably like 10 minutes or
Yeah.
so, but I don't.
Yeah.
But it's not like a downtown, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I love that. I'm so jealous of that. One day, maybe I'll get to Atlantic Highlands.
Yes. Yes.
If is there any, would love hearing your story. I'm really
Thank
excited
you.
to see the launch of your website.
Yes.
Thank you for being our first guest.
Thank you so much for having me.
Is there anything that you would say to a mom out there? I mean, I know we encountered each other that day at Oak Hill Farms, and did we even really tell the story? Yeah, I guess we did.
Yeah.
What would you say to anyone out there that is maybe contemplating like starting their own business or is thinking about making the leap of leaving their job to do this full time?
I say do it.
Yeah.
I just say you have to at least try. And that was
Right.
my pitch to my husband to say, I can always go back to a regular job. You
Right.
can always go back and find another full-time 9 to 5, but you'll always wonder, could I have done it?
Yeah.
Would it have been successful? Would it have gotten our family to another point in our journey?
Right.
So I say, there's so many resources out there. There are so many ways to market yourself, to figure it out, to ask a friend, to collaborate with someone.
Yes.
The possibilities are endless. It sounds so cliche, but they really are. You can teach yourself anything.
And you
on
can
the
always go
internet.
back, right? If it doesn't work
Right, and if
or
it doesn't
whatever.
work, at least you know you tried. At least you
Yeah.
know you put everything into it. You tried. Maybe it doesn't work. Maybe it brings you to another journey.
That's
You
so
know,
true.
maybe you're a maker, but it leads you to be a podcaster, or maybe you're a blogger and it leads you to be an educator.
That's right.
You don't know where this stone is going to take you to the next stone, but you're never going to know if you don't try.
Yeah, and fear is so debilitating too, you know, and if you let it like overcome you, you won't ever, you know, you won't
Right.
ever do anything. I say that a lot to, you know, some of my colleagues that I work with, and then also,
Right.
you know, my kids too, right? Like you're going to fail a lot. I failed a ton in my 20s and even like the beginning of my to mid 30s, it was like challenging. Just so many different, you know, things that you encounter and things that you think you want to do are working for people that like helping to build their business. That's like another topic that we could talk
Yeah.
about one day. Is just, you know, helping
Yeah.
people become successful when, you know, you're really kind of hurting yourself. So,
Right.
Well, anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I just want to cover a couple things. We're going to talk about upcoming events in Monmouth County this fall. Each week, we'll talk about a few events that are happening locally. So this is Harvest Fun Festival galore season, right?
Yeah, pumpkins.
Pumpkins everywhere. Check out fall events at Eastmont Orchards. They have lots of stuff happening each weekend. Apple picking. They have some great photo ops there. I was just there the other day. The farm looks great. You can buy jellies, pumpkin picking, all kinds of stuff. So really fun to be had at Eastmont Orchards. Some pop-up events happening this fall at Oak Hill Farms. I was also just there the other day. We love Carla,
Yes.
and she sells beautiful items, and really fun day for the kids, especially the little ones. You can go check out the alpacas and grab a coffee, and it's just like very like it's easy
Yes.
and it's beautiful and it's just so nice, and you feel like
Calm.
like you can relax, but also like doing something for the kids. I love that like little
Yes.
mix of how she's really fine-tuned that, which is really nice. There are also lots of fall events happening at the Historic Village at Alair. So you can visit their website and check out what's happening through the end of October. And then also the Monmouth Moms event. So we have two coming this fall, one of which we've already announced, which is on October 30th at Bell Works. Our Monmouth Moms Halloween Spooktacular. So we have lots of people coming, vendors, costume contests, fun things for kids, fun things for moms. It'll be a great day. Come in costume or don't. And we're excited to see everyone there. So that's it.
All right.
Have a great week, everyone.
Bye.
Awesome.